You know when to sell at an all-time high. I'm in riches, I'm making millions. Welcome people to a new episode of the Suppoman Show. Here with me, the Suppoman, your superhero of cryptocurrency and father of the church of Suppotology. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you about millionaire-making exit strategies. The reason why is because I asked on Twitter earlier, and I asked you, what do you guys want me to bring you as far as content is concerned to help you out with how to exit out of cryptocurrencies, when to exit, how to be most profitable in cryptocurrencies. And with this, I'm going to relay my own experiences that I have been lucky enough to be able to have in cryptocurrency in my journey. And if one is looking to be successful in cryptocurrency, one has to have tools in their armory to be able to make the best profits and become rich in this incredible asset class of cryptocurrency. So, with that being said, let me just make sure that I am live. And yes, it looks like I am actually live. So, yes, I am live. So we have got people in the house already. Now, what I'm going to do is I am now going to share this, to share or to shaft. I'm going to share this on the Twitter sphere. So I haven't personally received a notification that I am live on my other channel. So I'm imagining that there needs to be a little bit of encouragement given on Twitter for people to join the party. So let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. Let's have a look and say hello to you peeps. So D. Raj Reddy, Chris Marks, Sinter, Jason Johnny, Nobody. From 2017, good to see you. Cedar, Adrian, Jeffrey, Severns, David, Andrew, Kelvin, Glinbert, Raul, Chemo, Carlos, Noreen, Julian, Tanya. Good to see you, Brandon, Royal Fish, Jay, Imran Khan, Patrick Stock, Jacqueline, AS, USA, Local SEO. Good to see you guys. Good to see you turning up regularly. I recognize most of these names. Bitcoin Wholecoiner, Lindsay Gardner, Mr. Procopio, Saturnas, Dan S, Lisa Marie, Alexander Sherman, Kelly Green, Scratch TV, Soul X. I am so delighted all of you keep coming to my streams on a day-to-day basis, and I am delighted also we are so close to 13,000 subscribers. So if you could essentially smash the like and hit the subscribe button so that you, A, are saying, we love content like this, Suppo, we need this, we want this, we love this, and you want to join Team Suppo, make sure you hit the subscribe button. So, and also I will take any super chats should there be any. It doesn't look like we've got many people in today's stream, so it could be the absolute perfect day to get me to look at whatever you want me to look at. Now, very interesting what's been happening with Bitcoin. So, earlier today, the price shot up. So yesterday we saw around about 51,000 or thereabouts. And then over the course of from that low to the early part of today, we hit 57,000. And then the price tanked very, very recently, literally a few hours ago. Now, I am relatively pleased, but also displeased, I guess is the right word, about this tanking. So, what I can deduce is, as I said yesterday, essentially, if the CME market opened up at the price we were at yesterday, then we still had to dip a little bit more to close the gap from about 3 weeks ago. So if we have a look now, I have put a line at the lowest dip, the last gap that we had to fill, which was this one here, which was around about 54,000 and a half. And what happened? Well, when the market initially went up this morning, the price has tanked and looks like it has actually filled that gap as it was meant to. Now, why am I displeased about it? Well, because I love dip opportunities, right? The dip opportunities are the best chances to get into cryptocurrencies at bulletproof prices. And so, I hoped that we would re-enter around about low 50,000 again. Because, you know, you get into a quandary where you kind of think, how many coins is enough to own? But when you're excited about coins and you've got disposable, capital, you do want to kind of invest and speculate on the ones you really like. Because you just know that the ones you really like are gonna absolutely spike, and you are gonna be disappointed if you have not got a stake in it. But at the same time, you can't be in too many. You can't have exposed. You can't be in everything. Okay, I know in an ideal world one would be, but there we are. That's how it is. So let's have a look, and actually let me have a look at the updated chat on my phone. This is the best place for me to have a look, and you can hear me. I'm perfectly audible. Nothing really. Nothing. No one's really asking anything. Now let's have a look and see. Let's have a look at the hit list. Let's see some of the cryptocurrencies I am personally interested in. So blind boxes is at a really low price, right? So 187 is really the lowest price it's ever been, I think. I think that is its all-time low. Yeah, it was. Its all-time low was yesterday. Having been an $11 cryptocurrency, really at the tail end of NFT season. Actually, it was kind of at the heart of NFT season. Now, I kind of like blind boxes because it's all about opening these mystery boxes, which I just find really, really fun. It's a little bit like Pokemon. Pokemon kind of died, in my opinion, in terms of, like, how interesting it was. Because you're always going to get a Pokemon. But with blind boxes, you never know what you're going to be getting. So actually, it seems like something that people are likely to speculate on. Hasn't got the best of market cap to 24-hour volume ratios, but then we're not in NFT season, and we saw what happened to DeFi coins. So this one looked like it had a pretty good spike over after the dip. So it dipped down to 180, and it ran right up to $2.50 or so, and now it's down to $2.18. This is before the market has really truly recovered. So this is one that I like. Convergence. Let's have a look at Convergence and how this is doing. Just on the cusp of 10 cents. Now, I am really eyeing this up. I'm hopeful this will go down. I know this sounds counterintuitive compared to, how bullish I am on the project, but I really hope it goes down because I do want more. I actually had a buy order that didn't go through because it was on Uniswap at the time, and that was the only exchange you can get it. Now you can get it across a few exchanges, OKX, Gate. So now there is no opportunity to lose out like I did before. But I put a huge buy order on Convergence when it was around about 6.2 cents or so. When it just came out. I saw on Uniswap, because you can't really do limit orders on Uniswap. I saw that the amount you get per ETH was really high. The amount, your quantity you could get per ETH. And I was thinking, I'm going in right now. It just changed, as it does in real time. If you've ever bought anything off Uniswap, you'll know exactly what I mean. It changes in real time. You see the amount you can buy with how much you're willing to put in, go up sizably, and you're like, yes, I'm going to go push that button. And what happened is that it actually failed. Even though I put the fastest transaction, it really peed me off. But yeah, I'd love to own way more of this. So Convergence is one that I hope will... I want it to do well, ultimately. What else is there? So, let's take some from you. Which one should I look at, people? Hey, Suppo, PlaySense first project pre-sale is Polka Rare. What do you think of Polka Rare? It's heavily backed by VCs. I haven't looked at Polka Rare, so I can't say, but I will look at it very shortly. Suppo, with some great ones coming up, I can't go in on all of them. If you could pick one... would it be Refinable, Moonbeam, or Akala? Smash 'em up. That is a fantastic question, Lisa. Because those three are what I would class as the biggest moonshots of 2021. And if I was to pick one of them, then it would be Moonbeam. Moonbeam, in my opinion, is the standout one from those three. And I think has the potential to be one of the best of all time cryptocurrencies in terms of the entry point through to the exit point, which, as it's coming out very, very shortly, towards the course of the end of 2021, which is where I see the end of the bull market, then I think I could have this incredible trajectory. And simply because of the visibility it will have, simply because of being such a great performer, I perceive that Moonbeam is going to grow in spite of the bear market. Just like what happened with Chainlink, actually. So I'm going to have a look at Playcent very, very shortly. Kickpad's new IDO looks good game will be playable in May as well. I saw that. Let me see if I can find it quickly. So I think it's My Something Pet. I can't remember what it is. My House Pet or something. And I think it's like a Tamagotchi-esque. Oh, must have my Ethereum wallet thingy-majiggy. Does it have the medium? Let's have a look. I just don't know if they've put it on here or if they've put it on Twitter. My DeFi Pet. Kickpad is proud to announce that My DeFi Pet will be coming to our IDO platform. This is hot. A hot NFT game on Binance Smart Chain in collaboration with Cardia Chain. Interesting. That is very, very interesting. So, does My DeFi Pet have a website? Let me have a look. I very much doubt at this point they are going to have much in the... Oh, they might have venture capitalists, but I don't know. Let me have a look. This is the first time I've looked at this, so I'll be able to assess live. My DeFi Pet, lifestyle-based pet game on blockchain. Sounds awesome. Sounds good. What I like about this, in comparison to something like Pokemon, is that you got all these various different characters. So it looks quite interesting right off the bat. Website is mydefipet.com. Right, okay. Let's check this out. This is hardcore. My DeFi Pet, lifestyle-based pet game on blockchain. Combines DeFi collectibles and your own personality. Operated on supported network. Is operated on supported network, including Binance Smart Chain and Cardia Chain. New monster is born every hour. I love it. I love it. I love this. It looks like a game. Looks really interesting. Doesn't have anywhere near the sort of graphics as Illuvium, but it doesn't really need to. As long as it's visually attractive and playable and fun, that's the most important thing. Oh, this is cute. So at the moment, Kickpad and Cardia Chain. Doesn't look like how they have anything in the way of venture capitalists, but I think that's something that we need to... It's probably something that's likely to... They're likely to get better visibility and more interest from VCs over time. So what was the last one? Playcent. So I haven't actually had a look at Playcent's IDO launch platform. I don't know where I'd even find it. If anybody knows, do tell. Okay, so Polka Rare. Let's have a look. Right, Polka Rare. A Web3 economy for unique and scarce digital assets powered by Polkadot, Polygon, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain. How are they powered by all of them? Unless it's a multi-chain dApp, which it looks like it is. Multi-chain NFT marketplace, NFT wallet, collections, NFT collateral loans, NFT price discoverability protocol. So it looks like it's got... So essentially it's got a marketplace. So it kind of is like Rarible, OpenSea. Here it's like Engine. Here is like TVK. Here it's like NFT collateralized loans. No. I'm trying to remember that cryptocurrency does things really weird and uses NFTs as collateral. I can't think of it right now. And this is a bit like Fusible. So it seems to be kind of amalgamating all of the best qualities of DeFi platforms instead of just literally being one thing, like collect NFTs. It's just like a whole myriad of things. Governance exchange, medium exchange, staking rewards, NFT farming, NFT drops. So like blind boxes, I suppose. Advisors. Harmony, Sandbox. Now, Garland 1. I've seen him on quite a few things, I'm sure. Project leader Kylin. How weird. He's also on one I looked at yesterday, I'm sure. Oh, here we are. Right, okay. So backed by AU21. So that's a mid. That's a mid. That's a low. That's a mid. Low? So quite a few of names that we recognise. And it looks like they may be keeping a couple secret partners in the ecosystem. Polka Foundry, that's a good one. So basically, brilliant start for PlayScent. So this is an indication that PlayScent could actually do really well. Wow, Kickpad is $1.47. So at this time of talking, it's the same price as PlayScent. PlayScent a week ago was 80 cents. Now it's like $1.45. And it's more expensive than Kickpad. And the market cap is tiny. Tiny market cap. So yeah, so it looks like a great start for PlayScent. And almost makes sense that PlayScent is worth more than Kickpad. If you have a look at just those two offerings. Side by side. Let's have a look. See what else you guys are saying. What about Mina? Take profits or hodl for the long term? It depends. Depends on what point you get in on it. Right, okay. So, in the absence of super chats, I will now move on to exit strategies because I don't want to be here forever like usual, right? It's okay. So, I'm going to divide this into 3 strategies, okay? And this is all depending on 3, I suppose, factors. Number 1 is your risk profile. Number 2 is the actual cryptocurrency you get involved in. What is the value of it? What is the entry point of it? And 3, it's like how big is the long-term opportunity of it? That is where you will be applying these potential 3 strategies. So there's 3 strategies. There is safe, medium, and high risk. High risk, as you can imagine, is my personal strategy, and it's one that I would normally typically say, do as I say, but not as I do. Right? So I leave it up to you if you want to play the very, very high risk game. But I'm going to essentially show you what I do. And I'm also going to be showing what I have done in the past. Okay, so let's move to the... Oh, here we go. Done it again. So let's move on firstly to the safe one. Safe exit strategy. Okay, so this is on an assumption you're excited by something. But you don't necessarily... Well, this could be one of 2 things. You're excited by something and it's very, very low market cap. Doesn't have the best of VCs, but there is hype around it. Or it does have VCs and medium hype around it. Or it's already gone up highly. It's already like, I don't know, it could be like Chainlink or Polkadot. Something you're not going to make 100x on, but the opportunity is there to make a good amount of gains on. Something like Neo, maybe, that's recently shot up. Okay, it's high in market cap. You're never going to get the 100x's from this point, or at least you may have to wait a decade or 2 to get 100x. So this is playing it quite safe. Again, based on your risk profile and also the value of the cryptocurrency itself. So this is safe based on you're playing it safe, or it's a safe cryptocurrency, low risk, low reward. So with this kind of strategy, here are the following steps that you may want to consider. So entrance. So this is based on, let's say, a relatively high cap cryptocurrency. So around about 100 to 500 million roundabout. Okay, so it's already kind of proven. There's already an initial hype. It's taken it up to a certain value where it's primed for growth, but it's not going to have the most explosive growth. Okay, so let's say you put $1,000 on 100 to 500 million low to mid cap cryptocurrency. Like, for instance, Chainlink, like about a year ago. Polkadot, around about a year ago. So you're putting money into a decent coin, right? So it's $1,000. This is what I did when I first started. My first investment was $1,000. Okay, so you get paying $1,000 on a coin that's relatively safe, maybe mid-risk. And when it 3x's, based on depending on the liquidity of it. Okay, so if the liquidity is insanely high, like it's consistently high and it's trending all the time, you may want to consider maybe putting it to a 5x. But when it 3x's, sell the initial $1,000. Because once it's 3x, that means 2,000 stays into that cryptocurrency and 1,000 goes back into your pocket. So you sell that remaining $2,000 worth when that cryptocurrency does a 10 or 20x. Okay? Now, you could fly by the seat of your pants and leave the whole in for 10 to 20x. However, there's always another opportunity in a bull market. Always. Like, we've seen probably 50 opportunities open up in the dip that came in this bull market in the last couple of days. Now, 50 great opportunities to enter in at a bulletproof price and ride an enormous wave. So if you don't have any capital, then you're stuck. You can't make the most of that opportunity. Therefore, when it 3x's, at least if you take out that 1,000, you are back to where you started and you can reinvest in something else and reapply this strategy. Okay, so you leave that remaining $2,000 in until it 10 to 20x and then you sell it. You save that $1,000 that you took out initially. You sold the initial $1,000 stake. You put it in USDT and you leave it there for dip opportunities. Because in USDT, nothing's going to happen to it. It's going to remain static. If you put it into something else, it could whittle away at the amount you've got to put into another cryptocurrency. It could improve it, but just to be on the safe side, this is what I do. I put it into USDT until something else comes out. I'm not just going to put it in Bitcoin because Bitcoin should appreciate. I'm going to leave it in USDT and be patient until a great opportunity comes up. And then I will invest in small or micro cap opportunities. Now, if you're a starter in cryptocurrency, this is probably what you're going to want to do. Invest in safer opportunities, ones that have got relatively good market cap, very good liquidity, in the tens of millions of dollars a day. You want to be going into something a little bit safer, kind of ease your way into making profits. Don't just come in and like, 100x straight away. No, you shouldn't really do that because yes, it could work out for you and you could hit a home run on your first occasion, or it could put you off entirely and you just leave the space altogether. So this is risk mitigation and allowing you to stay in the game and maximize on your opportunities in the game. And then what you do is once you have sold at 10 to 20x, essentially you make 7k to 14k profit depending on at what point you sell that $2,000 out. Okay. Now, if you want to be a millionaire, you are going to have to repeat this over and over. I've put 25 to 63 times, but actually it's a lot more than that. So let me just calculate it manually. How many times does 7,000 go into a million? Okay, so 142 times. So you'd have to do this essentially on 142 cryptocurrencies, which means that you either have to be in 142 cryptocurrencies at the same time, which means $142,000 invested, or this is the long game. But what I will say is that when I am watching cryptocurrencies doing really well, like they're trending and one day it's just doing really well, those can be anomalies. Like you're not going to be getting 10x's like really, really quickly with a lot of coins, even the ones that trend one day and you see it quite a lot. 10x is not very easy to do, but if you invest in something that is mid-risk, then you should be able to make it in a decent amount of time. And 10x is a great amount of money. And of course, what you can do is you don't necessarily have to put it at 1,000. You can put 5,000, you can put 100, you can put 10,000. Anyway, let us now move on. That was the safe option, both in cryptocurrency and risk profile. Now we're going to move on to the medium one. Okay, now this is for people who have been trading for a while and are looking to up their game. So essentially at this point, you want to be investing in a microcap, $30 to $50 million, putting $1,000 in. This requires more research. You have to look into what they've already got and what they are going to have. So you need to look at the partnerships they've currently got, the VCs that are backing them, the pain they're looking to solve, and you've got to look at partnerships for the future, roadmap items and everything, so that you can be assured that that 1,000 has the potential to multiply greater than 10x. Okay, so this requires a little bit more homework, but you're still not getting involved at literally the lowest area, at the dregs underneath the $10 million microcap range, which is where you've really got the low caps, the highest risk plays. Okay, so you are taking a more educated or calculated risk at this point. So again, when it 3 to 5x's, now I would really say 5x's. Okay, when it 5x's, sell that $1,000. And then you leave that remaining 4,000 on a 20 to 50x, depending on your appetite and depending on what's in store for that coin, depending on the narrative in play at the moment, and depending on the community size and many things. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But you want to be selling around that 20 to 50x, and then you move on. Okay, with all of these, no matter where you are in the bull market, you just move on to the next one. Now, you can stay in it, but you increase your risk when you are doing so. And then you save that $1,000 for dip opportunities, and you make 16 to 40k from that $1,000. And again, if you pro rata it over a different price, so 10,000, then it would be 160 to 400,000 profit. And then you repeat it until you hit your target. But you can use these essentially as a template moving forward. So as you carry on, as you move forward, you can just use this as a template to just move on to the next and find another opportunity. And then last of all, is the high risk strategy. Okay. Now this is something which can be a lot more long term. It can happen over the course of one bull cycle, or it could be having bought at the beginning of the bear cycle, like in the beginning of despair stage, all the way through to the end of the bull cycle. It's very, very high risk. It means that you potentially walk away with no profits at all if it all goes wrong. So anyway, so here we are. So what you do is you invest $1,000 at 1 to 3 million. Okay, so you are doing essentially what I did with Linear, with Bitmax, with Ethos, with all the others, Phantom, all that, right? With most cryptocurrencies that I invest in that have turned out to be my 100x's, is you invest as low as possible. Now, when you invest so super low, you have got the patience. If you get in a bulletproof entry point, you have got the patience then I built in, because it's unlikely the price will ever go back down to that price that you bought in at, right? So you get into a microcap, Linear is never going to hit that price again. Bitmax is never going to hit that price again. So you can have the patience. So I can have the patience. I can just be sitting there pretty and just waiting and letting time equal value. So anyway, yeah. So you get in really, really rock bottom. But you do take a massive amount of risk at this level, because things can fall apart at this level. And then you ride an uptrend to 100x, and once you've hit that 100x, you essentially sell 80% at 100x. This is what I did before with Ethos. You sell 80% at 100x and leave 20% in for potentially 2 to 300x. Now, I would say to do this in instances where where the data is showing, like for instance on Glassnode, the data is showing that we are not close yet to Euphoria Stage. So if we are not close and we have hit 100x, then essentially you save it for 200, 300x. So like I did with Linear, I sold 50%. I didn't sell 80%. I sold 50% because I'm greedier. right? But I would personally say sell 80%, leave 20%. So it's not that you're not going to be kicking yourself at losing millions, right? Sell 80% at 100x, leave 20% in for 2 to 300x or more. Okay, depending on where the market is at. And then you use that 10k to take bigger positions. Okay, so this is exactly the strategy I've taken throughout my whole lifetime in cryptocurrency. So Ripple was my first investment, $1,000 in Ripple. I adopted more the medium risk strategy. I sold at 40x for that. And then from that, I was able to take bigger positions. So I took small positions at first. So I was kind of feeling my way around in cryptocurrency. And then I went $20,000 into Ethos, which then 300x. Okay, so you use that 10k, you win big, and then you can, from that position, take bigger positions. Okay, so once you, once you take out a little bit, once you've got taken out quite a lot of profits, potentially hundreds of thousands, potentially at absolute best case scenario, millions, then you can take bigger positions and you can play a much more wealthy whale investor game, which is kind of the stage where I am at, where now I take big positions in very, very low cap, high potential cryptocurrencies. And then you just repeat this until your financial target is hit, whether that be 1 million, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, or, basically billionaire status. Okay, so that is how I play the game. But as I say, you work your way up to this. You don't necessarily start off like this. When you begin in cryptocurrency, you need to understand how it all works. You need to understand everything right from the beginning, right? And you need to understand just all the mechanics. Experience is what allows you to be able to maximize your opportunities with high risk. Because there's a lot of cryptocurrencies out there, many, many thousands of cryptocurrencies out there. And to take this strategy on straight away is going to be almost impossible for you to get right first time. So ease yourself into it, make money over midterm, and use that money to reinvest and keep on making money. Like, what I would say is that this is the absolute best strategy to make money quickly in cryptocurrency. Okay, the average person, I think, could probably go from about $1,000 to millionaire in cryptocurrency over 10 years, I would say. If you were playing the long game, if you were making investments and you hit it big with a few, but for the most part, they were just, kind of 5 to 10x growers, then probably around about 5 to 10 years, $1,000 to $1 million, if that is your target. But if you are looking to be a millionaire from $1,000, then you've got to have a mixture of luck, skill, and timing, and you've got to be playing this strategy to be able to do it. And you've just got to sell and not look back. Okay, sell and not look back. Simple as that. So, points to consider when you are looking to sell. Okay, so first of all, milestones. Okay, so this is on a fluid basis. You don't have to go 3-5x rigidly, or 10-20x for the rest of it, or 20 to 50x or 100x. It can be fluid. But things that you've got to consider are this: the roadmap, the milestones, the testnet, the mainnet, the launch, the partnerships, the actual end product. All of those things is a journey. And then listings and potential inclusions on things like PayPal. So these are the things that you have got to factor into the journey. Now, this is why I don't get involved in stuff like, I don't know, Oasis, or I think it was Reef, can't remember. No, the Graph, right? The reason why I didn't get into that is because virtually most milestones have been completed. It was already on Binance straight out of the gate. So as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't have that longevity. What I look for when I'm considering getting into a coin that I'm wanting to hold from 50 to 100x is, does it have this whole journey in between my entry point and my exit point? Does it have testnet, mainnet, various new products maybe, the finished product, the adoption stage? Because when I first started with Bitmax, for instance, that was already a finished product. In essence, there was an exchange there. But what they had was a various amount of initiatives which would take the adoption element. And the adoption is where the value has come in that instance. So, a massive amount of things to consider when you are getting in your entry point to your exit point. Do you have a lot of things that can be satisfied in that time? And then liquidity. When you are looking to sell something, is it still trending? Is it still being hyped? Is the community size still very, very high? Is it visible on a lot of exchanges? Is there consistent growth on a day-to-day basis? It's normally when it starts to plateau out that's the time to sell. I remember that perfectly well with Digibyte back in 2017. It plateaued out, I sold it, and then it tanked down, right? So if it's having consistent growth, you may not want to sell at that point. Relevance. Is your project in the hype phase, the one that you've invested in? Like, for instance, blind boxes. What else was there? Omni, Ecomai, all of these like NFT platforms or whatever. Is it in the hype phase? If it's during the hype phase, that is the point at which you may want to hang on to it until you can see it starting to plateau out as a whole. And which you get that knowledge from listening to YouTubers like me, what we're talking about, what's trending at the moment in the market. You can make a decision based on, right, is that NFT going to start to go down now? Or is that project going to start to go down now? Is DeFi coming to it? Whatever the trend is it starting to come to an end? And if it is, that is probably something to consider. But if it's still in the hype phase, then you may want to consider holding it throughout that whole growth trajectory. And then future narratives. Is this likely to be very, very popular in the future? Is this a narrative that hasn't even been concentrated on? And this is why I'm invested in convergence, because I think that is going to be a very lengthy narrative in the future. Security tokens and the ability to own fractional parts of assets is something that's just going to be so huge in the future. And this is why I'm in convergence for the long, long term. Now, it is likely, people have asked, are you going to sell convergence when the bull market comes to an end? Yeah, likelihood is that I probably will sell convergence. Because what I will do is I will likely sell at the top or near the top, and then I will buy in despair stage, because that is always the best time to buy cryptocurrencies. Proximity to your euphoria stage, as I've said already. Like, if we are at 58% in terms of the sentiment of the market, and 75% is where euphoria stage starts, then you can see there's a huge gap. And if you are miles before that gap, then you're probably selling way too soon. Okay, so euphoria stage is really where the big run up at the end happens. Like, even if your cryptocurrency that you're invested in right now, let's say for the sake of argument, Tidal Finance, right? Let's say it goes to 5 cents and it plateaus out and doesn't really go anywhere. And then the bull market spike at the end, it can go from 5 cents to 25 cents, just like that. Or it can go from 5 cents to 50 cents, just like that. And you don't want to miss out at that euphoria stage, okay? So that's when most of the multipliers are going to come in, that bend at the end. And then your excitement is something that you've also got to consider. How excited are you personally feeling? Don't discount your own gut feel, because if you're feeling it, then other people are feeling it. Like, your feelings may be representative of the wider market. If they're not feeling as bullish on whatever narrative of the project you're invested in, if they're not feeling it, then it's likely it's going to start to go into decline, versus other ops, new narratives, and coins coming up in that new narrative. So these are all things that you may want to consider when you are selling your cryptocurrencies. So it's not necessarily formulaic and strategic and saying, right, I'm definitely selling as soon as it hits 50x, blah, 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 I'm going to sell. It's a case of looking at where the project is at based on these various factors, because you could be selling at just the wrong time. So this is what should go kind of into your decision making. So anyway, yes. So there we are, people. There we are. So I am happy to take some questions on this right now to, I suppose, cement your learning. Bear with me 1 second. There we are. So let me just see what you guys are saying in my chat. Right, okay. So, oh, good. There are not many super chats that I have missed out on. Yeah, thanks for the content. I'm relatively new, but why can't I use the high risk strategy if it's in convergence? Also, thoughts on WPR, Webby, and Upbots. Okay, so if you're relatively new, you can use the high risk strategy. However, I would say that the best way for you to progress your journey in cryptocurrency is to kind of make it a positive one. Kind of, you know, operate on the position of you're learning, you're making losses, you're making profits, you're reverse engineering your decisions. You're seeing what went right, what went wrong, right? So if I was to ask you right now, if you're new, why do you think you have the knowledge or expertise or experience to say convergence is going to 100x? Other than listening to me, and of course, I am going to be very, very positive because it's the project I'm invested in. And of course, I wanted to see it go well. But how do you know? How do you have the experience to tell if it can do that well on your own? And a lot of people that get into cryptocurrency are probably coming to me or other YouTubers hoping for suggestions on cryptocurrencies that they can make massive gains on. But we don't know how high it's going to go. We are making a best guesstimate. We don't necessarily know. But a lot of the people getting into it are not going to have anywhere near the expertise to be able to deduce if something can ride all the way to 100x. And the other thing is that I'm playing with a lot of capital, so I can stay invested in one coin and still speculate on others, whereas other people, if they tie up all their capital into one project, then they are essentially missing out on the glory of other projects as well. So it's something you should ease into over time when you've got the capital to play with, and you can put $1,000 into something, and then if you lose that 1,000, you still got a pot that you can still speculate with. That's what I would say. Thoughts on WPR? I don't know what WPR is. WePower is, as it says on the tin, WePower. We is another word for urine, piss. It's just total crap, right? Webby is old. Upbots. Upbots, I think, isn't terrible. It's got a very bad trade volume to market cap ratio. I think this is probably more of a DeFi play anyway. Yeah, DeFi Forex, derivatives, that kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts. Preach Suppo, this is Crypto Church. Pass the collection around. Thank you very much. Coin Bitsy for the $10. I really appreciate that. Are you going all in on Refinable? I'm not going in all in. Like, I would say that it probably makes up around about, you know, what I'm putting into Refinable, I would say probably makes up around about 1% of my entire portfolio. But I do think that this is a long-lasting cryptocurrency. Like, don't... You say seeing the NFT hype has slowed down. Right, the NFT phase has slowed down, but NFT coins can still grow. It just means that the more quality ones are growing versus the entire market of NFTs growing just because it's a hype phase. Like, any shit was going up at that point, right? Like dark matter, which was tripe, really. And that went up like 125% in one day. That's what I mean by hype phase. Something like Refinable, a top quality project like Engine, is likely to grow incrementally and consistently over time. But thank you very much for the £5. Hey Suppo, thoughts on Eureka? I think I had a look at it the other day actually. I don't remember being bowled over by it. 10-to-1 ratio. Let's have a gand. Yeah, protection of content and all that. Not that impressed. Lisa Marie, thank you very much again for the $10. This is gold. I've got my bulletproof entry down, but I've definitely made some mistakes exiting without considering these things to consider. Take notes, peeps. I really appreciate that, and the fact is that, you know, when you are exposed to quite a few cryptocurrencies, it is indeed very, very difficult to keep up to date with every single one. Like, you can't, unless you've got nothing else to do with your life, like, you can't every day be looking on the Medium articles of every cryptocurrency you're invested in and seeing what partnerships they're creating. But when it comes to the point at which you are looking to sell it, that is the point that maybe you want to consider looking at things. Now, whether or not those milestones actually lead to a big jump up in price, that is indeterminable. You know, it all depends. If there's a strong amount of hype behind a project, then it is very, very likely that a big milestone will make that project go up, or a listing, or something like that. Like for instance, with Linear, it went 3x up on the Binance listing, 3x, in literally about 4 hours. So it's not determinable all the time. It's not easy, but the more you put into it, the better the results. But you're absolutely right. Bulletproof entry point is arguably the most important thing in cryptocurrency, because it leads to you holding because you can. Because it's unlikely the price will ever go down to that. And if the price does, you can just buy more. Like, it's almost like a win-win. DeFi bids with Probit listing and Chonk partnership. I looked at DeFi bids before. Like, there was quite a big amount of... there was quite a lot of shillers of DeFi bids in my last stream. Come on, 26,000. Like, who gives a shit about Chong? Like, who the fuck are Chonk anyways? This big fat cat. Like, no one cares. A shite project anyway. Push. I looked at Push. Yeah. Oh, but sorry. But thank you for the £5. Truth. Truth hurts too. Young Zilla Push solves a big pain point in DeFi. Web 3.0 notifications backed by Binance Labs. Yes, I looked at it yesterday. And in fact, push notification looks like the kind of cryptocurrency that would probably be a good cryptocurrency for the medium strategy I spoke about. Like, it's a new concept. It has got a very good volume to market cap ratio. It's new out. However, it is not a bulletproof entry point. So at this present time, it's $6.33. And that is equidistant between its highest ever point and its lowest point. Well, in fact, it's not equidistant, because the lowest point is still much further down from the current price. So that opens you up to risk, right? So I would only ever go 100x if it was like $2. If it was about that $2, because at $2, that would make this under 10 million market cap, which is a much better opportunity. So this would be better for like medium. You know, this would be good for kind of 20 to 50x max. This probably could do well. It's a new narrative, like you said, backed by Binance Labs, which means it's more than likely going to get a Binance listing at some point in the future if it continues great trade volume. Yeah. So yeah, it is a good project, but not a great price point for me, and hence I'm not getting into it. You know, 10x lower would have been much better. Dexmex. Yeah, Dexmex. Let me have a look at Dexmex. Brilliant name. 35 million circulating supply. So what does that make it? 4.8 mil. 4.8 mil. Yeah, so that's around about 5 to 1. Let me just have a look. Quick look. I think this came up during DeFi season. Predictions. Quite a lot in transactions. It's not too bad at all, actually. LCX Gala Tone. LCX Gala Games. What's Tone? Tea food. Fucking hate those. But hopefully it works out for you. Honestly, although I hate them, I hope that they do well for you. Do you think Rio DeFi is a good buy at current prices? Parachain Labs, Mantra DAO going in. I've never really given much of a stuff about Rio Finance, Rocky, if I'm honest with you. I've always found it pretty crummy looking, if I'm honest with you. Like, I have absolutely no personal connection with this at all. It looks like it's got a roughly 4 to 1 ratio. Yeah, roughly. More like 3.5 to 1 maybe. This may fly during... have they changed the website? Let's have a look. Or does it still look really shite? Yeah, it still looks really shite. Basically, they've made absolutely no effort. Despite the fact that they... I mean, to me, it just doesn't seem like it's anything different. To me, it doesn't seem like it's anything different. But they do have good liquidity. So I really hope that works out for you. How do you sort out our wonderful CGT? Downloading text from Binance, etc. is a pain in the proverbial. I don't know what you mean. Oh, capital gains tax. Well, really, capital gains tax is based on the profits you make. So whatever profits, you have to pay a capital gains on that. Okay, so let's assume you made $10,000 in profits, then you would have to pay, $2,000 in capital gains tax. But it can be a ball ache having to go through the manual, Satoshi values of things, because a lot of these exchanges all work in Satoshis. But you got into Mina, and I think that you are never, ever going to have the price is never going to go down from what you got in a private sale. So that's wicked. Well done, you. The greatest live stream ever was Suppoman Crypto Crow. Thoughts, Suppo? How about a call out on Crow? I don't know. I've never been very good at he had to really persuade me to do a video because I'm terrible at being interviewed. So I don't know. It would be nice though. It'd be nice. Thank you for your brilliant exit strategy advice. Been following you since Jan 2018. Using a different profile name. Learned a lot. Great stuff, Bitcoin Whole Coiner. And thank you very much for your contribution. Do you mind explaining AMM infrastructure for convergence? Is this technology unique? What are its use cases? AMM is Automated Market Maker, which essentially is a way of bringing liquidity to particular cryptocurrency projects. Okay, and typically that is in the form of liquidity pools, where you normally stake two particular cryptocurrencies in equal value, so Ethereum and another, whatever. And typically what that does is it makes sure that it replicates the order book of a centralized exchange, so that people can get a cryptocurrency for a specified price. Something that decentralized exchanges missed out on before Uniswap was liquidity. Like, they were slow and clunky because of a lack of liquidity. Like, you would put a buy order for something you wanted on a decentralized exchange like IDEX, and you would wait forever for that transaction to be executed. So AMM infrastructures are really good for making sure that there is liquidity for a cryptocurrency, so that users, investors, can get the price they want for a cryptocurrency. It's not unique anymore. AMMs are quite common in liquidity protocols, but it's very, very good in the case of convergence finance, because it's like providing a liquidity protocol for projects that are security tokens. So if you are wanting to be the next labs group and you want to list on an exchange, and an exchange won't take you because you're a security, and the SEC will look very, very unfavorably on you if you are listing securities. So basically, exchanges have to list non-securities, and they have to pass the Howey test, that they're not a security. Otherwise, the exchange gets into trouble. Hence why, you know, when XRP was being investigated, a lot of them delisted it because they didn't want to get into trouble. What do you think about Saito? Not very good. Sorry. Saito isn't that bad. It's a polka starter. It's kind of browser-based dApps, isn't it? And it's not a bad value proposition, in all honesty. Not a bad value proposition. I've seen much better. I think this is going to be way better. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. If it comes out and it's relatively low price, I might actually buy it. Enjoy the experience. Very well said, Suppo. I truly believe mistakes I made hold a huge amount of value and will make a very successful bull run. Yes, the best teacher is mistakes. The best lesson was was ethos in a way. Like, it was one of my, and bit degree to an extent, because, you know, I thought that I had found a formula that could work time and time again, and I realised that the lack of experience I had at that point meant I would, you know, I would think an opportunity like bit degree at the time was an excellent opportunity. Where in a bear market, that's where you really find whether a opportunity has true value. If they tank dramatically, like it's a straight line downwards, it was shit all the whole time. So I would never pick a bit degree again. I've learned a lot from that. And thank you very, very much, Mike Freeman, for the contribution. Lindsay Garner, this is bloody fab, Suppo. Completing another one of your courses and learning so much from you and the Suppo community. 13k subs. So deserved. Am I actually on 13k? Let me have a... Alright, Gand. No, I'm not. Not quite. Not yet. Let me just have another... No. 50 off. I'll get there. I'll get there. Right. Right. There we are. Back. Oops. You can hear me. Let me have a look. But thank you very much, Lindsay. I appreciate that. Hey, Suppo, I appreciate all the free knowledge you're dropping. I got a mid-cap. I would like your thoughts on UBT. Don't ask for my thoughts on UBT. Honestly, you won't be happy with it. Switchio looks like an AMM for Neo. Switchio's old. Like, it's like Nash. They're just piss poor old platforms. So don't bother with old. Like, there's like I could probably list about 50 projects that are better than that. Just off the top of my head that have come out recently. It's not longer a small cap project. What do you think of Smartlands? Smartlands has been around for a while, hasn't it? Let me have a look. Like, I'm pretty sure I have been familiar with that name for years. Smartlands. Maybe wrong. I doubt I am. Come on, come on. Bit spooky considering what's going on in Ukraine, but they are first to market. Yeah, they've been around for fucking years. I don't know how they've come about, like, how they've all of a sudden got an all-time high. I don't really know anything about it, but it doesn't make any sense that it's like 68 million with 564k volume. This. But I appreciate your contribution, Talanani. So would you sell your Fala for convergence? No, I wouldn't at this point, no, because I got in a very, very good entry and I really like the project. Like, there have been so many privacy protocols being brought out. Privacy is very, very important for the new infrastructure, particularly Web 3.0. And Fala are likely to get a parachain. So why sell it before it really realizes its true value? Right, people. I think that is it. So I hope that you got a lot out of this video. And let me know in the comments if you would like me to cover any other topics. Hold on. Orlando Gabin, I own so many new polkadot projects. When do you think I'll start to see some of those profits from the ecosystem? I reckon it will probably be very... Well, polkadot projects have never really truly left. It's just that there are so many. Some probably came out a little bit too high and are finding their value. And promising ones are still shooting up. But I think that when you got the next wave of really good projects, I'm going to bring another video out about them. So Plasm, Akala, Kerala, can't remember what it's called, the testnet of Akala, and Moonbeam are going to be amongst the biggest powerhouses of this year, and it's going to send Polkadot back to the forefront of people's minds. But at the end of the day, what you've got to realise is don't rely on the strength of a narrative necessarily. Like, you shouldn't have to rely... If you've got a weak project, I'm not saying what you're invested in is weak, but if you are in something that you may perceive as weak, but you are relying on the narrative to pull it up, then you are probably not in the right projects. So you should get into things you personally believe in and personally think that long term is going to do well based on what it does, what pain it solves, and the narratives coming up in the future. Sorry, Suppoman, you so deserve 13k, and it's fast approaching. Quality over quantity. Your channel is quality. Thank you very much, Lindsay. Right, people. Thank you very much for being here, and I've enjoyed it, and I hope that you have gotten a lot out of it. And I will be back. So make sure that you have your, whatever coins you want me to talk about, and if you have any particular topics you want me to discuss, then let me know in the comments of this video, and I will see how I can work it into a video. But until next time, people, it is lights out, all out.